I ain't even mad. This is just impressive. And I also find the circumstances of this fake leak downright hilarious because it's not like some well-known 3D modeler for Pokemon or a faker or a leaker or some kind of like ROM hacker came onto the scene and was like, yep, I made that fake. No, it was someone with no internet presence coming in and then dropping one of the most well-produced videos ever made in the Pokemon community and just kind of going, yeah, here it is. And it's actually amazing. Also, I looked up, this guy had nothing on Twitter, just kind of came out, uploading a video tomorrow. The wait is really bugging me. And joined March 2019. This guy just kind of did it, popped up, and now he has like a name for himself. And I kind of want to see more. I can't wait to don't upload it to 4chan and try to fool everyone again. You're too good. We already understand your power. Can you respect that we respect that, and then just go to making fake concepts so we can review them? That would be pretty dope. So yeah, like the YouTube channel, nothing else going on with it. Like it's just here. But the video itself is mind-blowing. It's revolutionary, and it shows how people can just make the fake like this, and it's one of those things where all you need is someone with good 3D modeling and design skills to actually know what they're doing, and they can just whip something like this out in a day, which makes sense. Like that was the thing that got me about it. It was the speed. It's like, wait a second, people are already making realistic game-looking footage so soon after the Pokemon Sword and Shield reveal. That means there has to be some kind of demo leak going around already, right? I don't know. But the first thing that got me, I'm not gonna play through the whole video. You need to watch this video. It's just a straight up entertaining watch. But the thing about this is it was inspired by an egg. So everyone's like, peanut fly, what was it? Antlion, all these things. Nah, I just took something English, like the egg. I don't even remember what he called that egg, but yeah. And then the design kind of grew from there. So, video description. This video, we explain roughly the step-by-step process to create the bug leak that spread around in early March and was covered by a few of Pokemon YouTube channels. We certainly did not expect it to gather the traction it did, so this is our thank you to everyone that took part in the conversation. Please forgive us. Again, I'll forgive you if you just kind of throw out more fire stuff like this and you don't try to just make it a leak because it was just so good. Yeah, it started out as a leak, and then the design just kind of kept growing. Like, that looks cute. That looks like a fun little fake mon. That looks alright. And then it's like, nah, it needs to be better. And then it got that. And then it just looked so real. Like, anyone can model some kind of creature and slap it in there and say Pokemon. But this felt silly enough for Game Freak to make. And it had the detail, had the attention, had the little movement, the little mouth flap, the sadness in its face. It's like, this seems like some kind of random weird looking bug you're going to stumble into in a cave in the Pokemon world because Game Freak will make something like this. And it started out as an egg. I ain't even mad. So, and then going more into the video, there's a couple of things I pointed out because there also has to be a really intense attention to detail from understanding the Pokemon models to get it looking right. What convinced me the most were the wings, because I remember looking at the 3D models for some of the wings of Pokemon for some kind of video. I don't even remember, but it was mostly just showing the translucent 2-frame animation that the wings have on the Pokemon, and he acknowledges that and just went, you know what, I'm running out of time. Let's go and do one of those. And it turned out to be really well done and looked just like how it looks in the game. So this is kind of what shows why we're in such a crazy position right now, because with Pokemon Sun and Moon, more so than Pokemon Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, because there were still randomizers, Now with the Pokemon Sun and Moon randomizers, people are editing the models. People are remodeling things just to put them in the games and then make a crazier randomizer and stuff like that. So people are having more and more experimentation with changing and altering existing Pokemon, or just straight up creating new assets by understanding the existing assets so well that now we're kind of in this new territory for fakes, even though we've already had things like the original Pokemon Sun and Moon starter leaks, the Primarina, Decidueye, and Incineroar leaks that everyone thought was fake, real, oh crap, they're actually really real. It went from something that simple to now, the most convincing gameplay fake that we've ever seen in Pokemon. I think the most effort that we had to deal with when it came to Pokemon Sun and Moon leaks was this. And the thing is, this did not look like a fake Korokora scan or anything like that at all. It was depending on what you were exposed to first. The concept art also just had a good concept, but didn't look like a real concept art. Maybe the most convincing thing was the inside gameplay footage that they had. that was just kind of it. I would show you the other screens, but just as bad as our Japanese text. Like that was kind of it. It was like, oh, is this a gameplay leak? And the only reason it blew up is because Tyranitar 2 popped like a million views on it, because no one had really seen anything like that. But I mean, even then, like, that doesn't look as convincing in a still. And it also just kind of like, yeah, that looks very rough, basic, doesn't seem like any, you know, it looks kind of fake, but really well done, and doesn't just kind of seem like a straight up made model. With this, it's from the ground up custom, and I was actually like looking for things. I was like, all right, wait a second. How could we find something that would show that it could be fake? You know, everything was just created from scratch and not really, you know, like, I'm still at a loss for words now that I even know how it was made and stuff like that, because it just has those little details that work out and doesn't seem like there being problems. Like, the only major problem, and this is one that got addressed a little after the video started getting coverage, was the shading. Because there is, like, he talked about how he did the shading in like a backdrop thing, a majig, I don't know, 3D rendering. I even took like 2 years of vocational school and I did some 3D modeling, but you know, I understand what he did and how he did it. I just didn't really think about applying it. But also, if you take anyone that understands 3D modeling or just plays around with 3D models and stuff, they could whip this up in a day. Like, there's some talent going on right here. However, like, the outline wasn't like flawless. I think someone like found like a frame where you could actually see through because it didn't line up just right, because it was rendered slightly improperly, but only slightly. And then there's no shine, because even if you look at the trailer, we only get like a little bit of inside the cave, but we don't see a Pokemon battle inside the cave. However, there's still the shine that is apparent on the character models as well as the Pokemon models. So that was kind of like I would say that is the most major thing. You know, it didn't have this, it didn't have that little glow, but the outline was still fairly close. So it was like that small detail, much like the Furigana that was missing from the Korokoro leak, even though that also didn't have like the Korokoro feel. It looked too clean, too fresh overall. Actually, wait. But then they did like this. Actually, even then, like, when you look at that, yeah, that's definitely fake. But that wasn't the leak. This was the leak. But even then, this didn't have that Korokoro feel. It felt too bright and too clean and too glossy in a way. But I mean, they went for the efforts. Yeah, much like the Furigana, it was also much like that darn little shine. But I was thinking, you know, it could still be not fully rendered out footage. It could be rough footage for a trailer or something for Game Freak, you know, game footage not final, especially because the game is still half a year away or more. And I think that'd actually be worth checking out in the video, see how much of a change we get from gameplay footage not final to the final product in Pokemon, to see if anything like this could have been real. That might have been worth doing while this was still circulating as real. But I don't know. That's an interesting thing to break down into. But yeah, just everything I see about this video is like impressive. Like that was the mock-up he made, and it looks exactly like what you would find in a Pokemon game. And then also talking about like the rotating and zooming and panning cameras, and then replicating that exactly, while also even just making up a little light. So it's like, that was the lamp. I was like, that lamp looks like something Game Freak would make. That would the only detail that Game Freak would know that we wouldn't know that makes this real, kind of, you know, is just having that lamp. And he recreated the lamp really well with a lot of the other background, and then just did colors on top of, like, that's just a simple star. That's just a simple star to remake the gems, and it worked. But because of the angles, it doesn't look like that. It renders out better. And then he just uploaded it to YouTube, took a video. I like the way that he was doing. Like, I went to Premiere, uploaded it to YouTube, played it on the Switch, and then did it on my phone. And that's kind of like why, and even then it's like, okay, that doesn't look as great, but then you do Premiere shenanigans and you have everything else work out, and then you crop it out to where you only see the best parts of it. This is the Pokemon Let's Go thing, and it was kind of really terribly photoshopped, and a couple people did call it on that, but I'm like, I don't know. Is Game Freak going to really keep that? Because I think we see like a little bit of the fight in one of the pictures, but not the actual like gameplay footage. So I mean, it's like, Game Freak might have like something weird, or it might just be like an early beta thing as it's being tested until something is actually implemented. That's like the weird thing about leaks and information that gets out this early. But yeah, then just kind of played it on the Nintendo Switch. Where is that? Yeah. And then that's kind of how we ended up with this. And that's why it looks so real. It was made to recreate gameplay, and then it was replayed on the Nintendo Switch. That's actually one of the funny things too, is when the YouTube app became available on the Nintendo Switch, that everyone's like, okay, you can't trust any leaks you see ever now that are on a Switch, because someone can just upload it as a video, play the video in full screen, and then just take a picture of that. But I mean, if you do it right, it still looks like you're actually replicating the gameplay one-to-one. So there we go, guys. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below. This has got to be the best fake leak we've ever seen for anything in Pokemon, but now it's just going to get crazier from there, because this was someone who had talent, but was just sleeping, and then woke up and was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. But what happens if someone else crazier comes into play? Someone that actually has worked on randomizers and making special models for 3D specific, or trying to like recreate and re-render Pokemon in some kind of way. I mean, I don't even think they could do better than that. Kind of reminds me of 50 Shades of Heliolisk, that theirs looked real, but, you know, people kind of didn't fall for it because of the circumstances around it. However, like, there's people that really understand Pokemon and modeling. I guess that just kind of comes along with the degree, you know, that if you dedicate a lot of time to this and you learn it to where you can recreate it, that means you can actually look at what Game Freak does. You can look at XY, Omega Breed Alpha Sapphire, Pokemon Sun and Moon, maybe even a little bit of Let's Go, and just kind of piece it together from there and go, oh, okay, I can see what they do here. Maybe I can recreate that and then make it feel exactly like Game Freak. So people are dangerous right now. The leaks are dangerous. That's kind of what I have to say, but very impressive. So guys, enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.